Hello, hello, Pamela here with Passionate About Scrapbooking, your Stampin' Up demonstrator, and welcome to Feel Good Friday, live with Pamela, where I create fun fold cards, 3D projects, anything other than a scrapbook page or layout. So I can show you how to use the same products, making 12 by 12 scrapbook pages on Monday, how to make 8.5 by 11 scrapbook page on Wednesdays, and then paper craft projects, cards, fun folds, 3D projects on Fridays. So if you're joining me, please say good morning or hello. Good morning, Debbie. Thank you so much. I forgot to grab my water. But I do have my coffee still, so I'll probably be all good then. So, hope you're doing well. Happy that it's Friday. Happy that it's Feel Good Friday. So let's see what we can do to up our spirits if you've had a rough week. Let's go into the weekend getting our brains geared towards some creativity. I hope you can schedule a little time for yourself if you haven't had time during the week to get creative, even if it's just recreating one of these fun fold cards I'm going to share with you today. They're really super simple, and I'll be using the Decorative Trees bundle again. So showing lots of different ways to use this, and then there are a ton more ways. You can check out Pinterest and you'll see all the goodness that you can do with this bundle. So there's all the dies. So I haven't even begun to create with all of this yet. So I may have to feature it again in a couple of weeks before Christmas. All right, so that's the stamp set and bundle. So Stampin' Dies, available on my website. I was just gonna double check. Let's see here and make sure that it is still available. I'm also using the Country Woods DSP. So yeah, when I click on it, it's available. So no reason not to grab it and make your Christmas cards with it. There's lots of fun samples in the description as well to show you how to use the bundle. And then you can make tags. I see some tags and cards using all different materials, paper, colors, DSP, embossing, gold foil. So lots of fun things you can do with it. And I might just keep that handy and maybe use a few ideas on my second card I'm gonna do. Hello, Christy, happy Friday. Thank you for commenting. All right, what else then we have? I'm gonna type in here real quick, Country Woods. And it is low inventory. I know they'll be ordering more because this paper packet is in the annual catalog, so it's supposed to be available through the end of April, I believe. So there are, I'm not sure if I have one of each over here or not. I don't think I do. I think I cut into it. Let's see what we got here. So if you're not familiar with the Country Woods, so I've used some of that paper already. Then this is wonderful for beaches, doing beach layouts and cards using the Seaside Wishes. This is that's a fun one. You can go back on my video feed, YouTube feed, and see where I've used some of those papers with the Seaside Wishes back probably 2 or so months ago. I think I did that shortly after we came back from Florida. which that was at the end of July. But we're going to use it. I've been using it all week long for Christmas pages. Let me grab what I've created and I'll just share with you if you haven't seen this, what I've done this week so far. I really loved my pages from Monday. Had lots of fun with those. Lots of distressing, kind of a farmhouse, rustic look. So see the distressing, the sponging, the blending, the splattering of ink. Did a little bit of heat embossing with white embossing powder on black cardstock. And then all my clusters were similar. Used some of those cherry cobbler and pearl dots and berries. All right, and then I turned around and made a card with that too. I made a reel to show you real quickly how that came together. So I just pretty much used what I did in my layout on Monday. And then I have this over here. I did this on Wednesday, just a more nature theme. So you can see the cute embellishments, super simple. And then we're gonna do something a little bit different, still kind of keeping along with that rustic theme since I'm still using the Country Woods paper. So this stamp and die set is in there's some great samples for you. You can actually find these on the website when you go click on the link for the Decorative Trees stamp set. Okay, so you can get the stamp set just for $20, just the dies for $38, or save 10% and get the bundle for $52. When you spend $40 this week or more using the link in the description, then I will send you a PDF of all the projects I've made this week, giving you cutting dimensions on the paper and some tips and tricks and so forth. So maybe even a sketch for the 8.5 by 11. But you'll have detailed photos so you can either copy as is or use them just as jumping off inspiration using the products that you have on hand. So, all right, let's get started. I'm gonna open that up and set that over here to the side so I can just grab and go. Colors I'm using, I think I'm limiting my ink pads today to cherry cobbler, crumb cake, and early espresso. I've got my little tray over here with my tools and my goodies. I'll need to use the take your pick tool, and I don't know what that's called, but it helps get the little pieces out of the dies. This end, I have a little poker that's also going to help with that. Then this was actually a Tim Holtz distressing, I don't know if that's what it's called, but a sponge. So these just are Velcro and they come on and off, so I can change out the colors. But I'm going to do a little bit of ink edge distressing, is that the word I want, on my papers. Got my water brush to do a little bit of splattering. My basic tools in here. I probably won't use my blending brush today. And then we've got the Grosgrain, very vanilla and black, that I'll be using. Possibly some of the Baker's Twine Essentials pack I've been using. There are those cherry cobbler and pearl adhesive backed refills, and a few bits and pieces here. I may pull out these little bows to use. I think I want to try to figure out how to do that little bow. We'll see. Not 100% sure on that. I was looking at some of this other. So I might, well, that's think that might be French vanilla from Close to My Heart. All right, so those are the products that we're using and tools. I'm going to set those aside. We're going to start off with cherry cobbler and some of the distressed cardstock. I'll set this other over to the side to create that card in just a moment. All right, let's see. I've got to find my instructions. So we do need our paper trimmer, but I'll just be using, I have some paper still in there. Since I've got everything pre-cut, I'll tell you the dimensions of those items, and then we'll do a little bit of scoring, okay? So let's start off with our paper. So we want a card base that is 5.5 by 4.25. So it's going to go widthwise this way. And then we want for our Z fold, so both of these are going to be Z folds. They're going to be very similar, but oriented differently. We'll have a landscape and a portrait one, so the dimensions will be a little bit different on both of them. This one is 9 3/4 this way, 4.5 this way. Okay, and then this is the piece we're going to score. I'll go this way. And then we'll have a piece that is pattern paper, DSP, designer series paper for the base. This is going to be, I think I cut it wrong. I think I need, on this particular one, not 4.25, it needs to be 4. All right, so 4 by 5.25, 4 by 5.25. So it's going to layer right on there. Then we have our pieces that will go on our Z fold. So we have 2 cardstock pieces. This is basic white cardstock, and it will be 4.25 by 3. So 2 of those. And another piece of pattern paper. That's the back of this one. And this is 4.25 by 2. All right. So let's get our scoring done on our 4.5 by 9 3/4. So this is my cutting blade. Let's get this centered. I'm going to move some things around here real quick. All right, so let's get our scoring blade, our paper trimmer. So if you're joining me, say hello. Let me know where you're from, where you're viewing from. What's your latest crafty activity that you've done? All right, so we're going to turn it this way and we're going to score it first at 3.25. So that's my cutting blade. This is my scoring blade. 3.25, and then move it over to the 6.5 mark and score again. So we have 2 score marks. Okay, and we put that paper trimmer away for now. And let's do a little bit of distressing so that we can assemble our card. So I'm going to use Early Espresso with my little sponge, big sponge dauber. And you may not think this is noticeable on this kind of Early Espresso cardstock, but it makes a little bit of difference. So I'm going to just sponge the edges quickly of all these 4 pieces right here. And that's just going to help add a little bit of rustic charm, I guess is the word I want, to the card. And I'm doing this because I'm using the wood grain paper, which is rustic. So I need to bring that into other elements of the card. And you could do this with a lighter. You could do this with pecan pie or crumb cake. I just chose the early espresso because it was a little bit bolder. Gives a little bit more contrast. All right, so I decided to do gift cards today because we have the holidays coming up. And remember, these ideas can be used for birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, if you're going to give a gift card, or even tuck a little bit of money inside there. So they come in super handy for those occasions. All right, first I'm going to apply this piece. I ordered some more of this, but I'm trying to use up what I have. I have all the ones I have. I have 3 of them over here that are almost empty, but not quite. Okay, so I want this piece down on there. So I am going to put all of my pieces, put the glue on the back of that. Let's see if I can do this without getting my fingers all sticky today. So how's everyone doing? All right, there's that one. Now let's take our fun fold. We want it to be on here, so we'll go forward and then backward. And we'll take our, find my foam folder, and we can just give it a good score on both of those scoring lines so it lays a little flatter. Okay, and I want it to go this way, so it's going to open up like this. So we can go ahead and put glue on the back side here. I'm gonna do a line. There we go. And then line that up right in the center. And kind of hold it down for a minute. All right, and then it should be pretty much adhered. All right, that's gonna go on that, but we're gonna do some decorating on it first. So I can go ahead and put this piece like right here. So let's go ahead and just put that down. We'll be done with that one. Right here. You can do some stamping on here if you wanted to, maybe a little border. I might have to go in and do that because you've got a couple of little border images that you could do on here possibly. I didn't do it on my original sample. All right, so these pieces we have to work on doing a few things to. So let's set that aside. We're gonna cut out a little notch here. Now if you had like a big circle punch, that would be great. I don't have one yet. So I do have dies, circle dies, so that'll be, well, I hear him. There he is. Is it time for you to go outside now? I'm gonna grab my favorite stylish shapes, dies. I think I'll get like this one right here. Actually, this time I think I'm gonna do the smaller one. Yeah? All right. He'll just sit there and meow if I don't let him out. Go ahead. All right, so let's see. I need my plates for my mini. I've got a little tape. Now let me show you the difference here. You can use this bigger one. It'll cut out a little bit deeper. Just if you're using your bigger machine, you could pull it out a little bit further if you wanted to. If you could do this one, I'm going to do a smaller one this time. So I've already made one sample of this particular one. So I'm just eyeballing it to find the center. You could measure it if you wanted to, but I'm not too concerned about that. Let's make sure it's in there properly. So we're just cutting out that little piece right there. So you've got your little notch here. So this piece, and don't throw this piece away. You might could use it as a little tab or something on another project. I'll keep these handy because I've got some more die cutting I'm going to have to do. All right. So now there's several things. We're keeping this one super simple. You could do the length a little bit longer and like score maybe a quarter inch. Maybe do it a little bit longer down here and score on either two sides or one side. I'll show you how to do that on the next card. This one though, we're just going to keep it super simple, and we're going to put just a little bit of glue right here along the edge. Just a thin, I'm not doing very straight, but that's fine. So fairly thin. Let me see if I can, so y'all can see. Right along the edges, and then we're going to adhere it right here on the inside. Try not to move it around too much, that way the glue will stay like right where you put it. And then you should be able to stick a gift card inside there, no problem. Once the glue is dried, then since it's just right there on the edges, you'll be able to stick that in there nice and easy. And that liquid glue will hold it really nice and tight. I got a little bit squeaking out there. Okay. So now let's work on the front. We'll need, I guess I can leave this over here because we're going to need some to create a tree. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways you could do this. I use just these two dies. And then we're going to use the Seasons Greeting stamp set and these little stars. Okay. So let's do, I want to use some, I'm going to go ahead and pull this in, but I've got to dig through my paper real quick. And all the stuff that I laid down here. Okay, I think I'm gonna, let me see if that will fit on here. Yeah, I should be able to get that on there. Okay. So instead of using like a white background, I looked for a color that would work well with shaded spruce, but didn't really find one. Actually, maybe the Shy Shamrock would be pretty with it. It's a little bold and bright though, so this is, let me find my scraps over here of the shaded spruce. You can see what I'm talking about. That might have worked, the cardstock, but I didn't think of that until just now. So I'm just going to keep it more rustic and cut the tree, and it'll kind of be like it's got some snow on it, kind of an outdoorsy tree, but just the same pattern that I used on this part right there. so we've got that tree. And then I'm going to cut this little one out of shaded spruce cardstock. This one has like hollyberry leaves and places where you could, you possibly could do this in white and then take your Stampin' Blends and color in the leaves and the berries, so with some green and red, but I chose to do, move it down. I'm actually gonna do it, whoops, I'm gonna do it this way. I don't know if it'll go through well that way, so we're just gonna do that. Okay, and where's my top? There we go. First time I went through it, I'm going to go twice through, because when I did this the first time, there was a little portion that didn't cut out well. So I'm hoping by going through twice it'll work good. So we need our little take your pick tool. First I'm going to try to pop it out of there. I think that's the whole. And so here you can use that possibly. I think this works just as well. Just kind of poke, whoops, those pieces out, because there's quite a few little different pieces to get out, like teeny tiny pieces. So if you're going to make a bunch of these for your Christmas cards, this might be something like cut a whole bunch of them, and then you can sit in front of the TV and just do this little project. Okay, yeah, that worked well going through twice. I think I got all the pieces out. Okay, you'll have a nice little mess there. Okay, so there's several, you'll notice how much smaller this is than this. Well, there's several options you have. You can adhere it like right down here to kind of fit in there like that. You could put a star up here. Or you can do it like I'm going to do it. Let me show you what I do. So let me put a little bit of glue in some strategic areas. This might be another one that would be really great for adhesive sheets. I don't know why I haven't gotten those yet, because I've talked all week about how it would be great to have them. Okay, on my next order, I gotta try to remember. Okay, so I'm just going to layer that on top. See if I can get it tacked down good. Make sure I got enough glue. Now that looks kind of strange with it like just like that. So now you can just take your scissors and trim off this portion right here. So now you can have big trees and little trees out of this bundle. And that I would probably just throw away unless you can think of something fun to do with that. I'm putting it in my little stash over here just in case. All right, so there's our tree. Now we need to embellish over here. So let's grab our sentiment and those little stars. I mentioned that. The season's greetings. You could do a Christmas tree, but I've already done that a couple of times. You could even do a very Merry Christmas. This is designed to fit inside the Christmas tree, but it could just go on here as well. And then there are those little stars, which I'm going to use as a background. So here is crumb cake. And I think first I'm going to stamp my sentiment in cherry cobbler. I think I got these cleaned off. All right, so let's get it stamped right up here in this area. I've got to bring it down a little bit more, see if I can make sure I'm getting it somewhat straight. Hello, Laura and Flo. Thank you for saying hello. All right, so there's that. I think I'm done with my cherry cobbler ink. And then we'll do some crumb cake, stars. Rotate your stamp around. Just do like some random stamping, not too close together. Your tree's going to be right here. But you see, I've kind of got some triangles going on here. And maybe right there. Okay. And then I wanted to just stress it up a little bit more. So now I'm going to bring in my early espresso. I've already squished it. Let me show you what I mean by that. Just take it and use the palm of your hands to squish the pad into the lid. And then we'll grab our water brush, any kind of water brush. So it's got water inside the barrel here. And I'm just going to do a little bit of splattering. Whoa. I got some big splatters going this time. You can just kind of do it all over. Okay, and you can clean that up with your chamois, which I hadn't even grabbed mine out yet. All right, so I can take and clean my brush on there. I should have cleaned my stamp earlier, but I will in a little bit. Just put that away so it's ready for the next project. We also want to clean any overage of splatter. So just wipe your glass mat or whatever you're using. I love my glass mat. It's so easy to take care of. Just little air it out so it can dry. All right, so we've got that. I'm going to grab my ribbon while this is kind of drying. I'm going to do my ribbon a little bit longer than that piece right there. And then I need a piece that I can just tie. So I need it just long enough so my fingers can maneuver it. You see this says a free gift. I got this from Rhonda Wade and I think a card workshop that I got from her. Probably a team incentive or something. She's my third up line, so. Okay, I think this is just about dry. Let's do, I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal and put just a little bit of adhesive. I don't think it's, is that my, I don't know if that's an empty one or not. Let me just get it going. Okay, so just a little bit of seal. I'm going to put just a tiny bit right in the center. It'll just hold it in place. We're going to take this and put it right about here. And then just line it up and fold over. I smeared it a little bit. I guess that'll add to the distressing. And then here, we want this now. We're going to use some foam. I'm not even gonna let that bother me, Pamela. If you wanted to redo it, you could. I'm not. Take this and adhere it right about there. And then let's see if I have. Okay, so I cut. I'm digging out part of the little dies that I was able to cut. See it? That little piece. Let me find it so you'll know what it is. So these right here, it'll cut 2 different sizes, and that's for your little tree trunks. So you can do a thicker one or a thinner one, but it cuts them out at the same time. So I just cut a few out before my Monday live. And I'm gonna take one of those little ones, put a little glue. I'm kind of clogged up, I think, a little bit. Never fails. I gotta get my fingers sticky. Oh, and then you get too much. So just wipe that off on something. Just wiping a little bit of it off on my chamois over there. And then I'm just gonna tuck it up under here. Just so when you look at it, because this is raised and this is not. Okay, that just adds a little extra to it, like your tree's not just floating there. And then this one we can slide right through there. Now you could tie it and glue it onto there, but I like to do it this way so that it looks like it's all one piece. It's kind of tiny. There we go. You may want to, you can kind of maneuver it, so maybe it'll, and when you're like where you're at, you can pull it tight and then just trim your ends, unless you want them to be frayed and more distressed looking. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set it on here. We're not quite done, but almost. Have a little bit more embellishing to do, but let's get it adhered to the card. And center it right there on the top. And then let's finish it off with some of these cherry cobbler berries. Now I played around with it a little bit and just decided to use individual berries. I'm putting those where the leaves are showing first. There's some leaves. That just adds a little more pop of red. So this card was more traditional in colors. I think I love the green, red and black together. Whoops, got that on my finger. Okay, and then I'm just kind of looking, I'm getting them on my finger instead of there. So I think I need one more up over in this area. So I think right there, even though there's not leaves. All right, and I think that was just enough for our card. So there is our finished card. Got a little bit crazy there with my distressing. Then you open it up, you've got a place for your sentiment, and then you can tuck your little gift card or some cash in there, and it'll just slide right down in there like that. All right, so there's card number 1. Then let's do one quite similar, but the rotation of it is going to be a little bit different, the way it works. Okay, so let me get my instructions for that one out and tell you what the dimensions are. Now remember, when you place an order of $40 or more using the host code, there's a link in the description for my weekly special. You'll get all the dimensions and instructions on how to create these projects, plus my 8.5 by 11 page and my 12 by 12 layout for the week. All right, so this is our card base. This one's going, instead of it going portrait, landscape, we're gonna go portrait. So that's gonna be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, your standard card size. Then we have our piece that's gonna fold this way. This is the Z fold base, and it is 4 1/4 by 9. Just gonna make sure, yep, by 9, okay? And then we have, this is the piece that we'll be able to write our message on. It's 2 3/4 by 4. Then this is the base that'll go on the base of the card. This is 4 by 5 1/4, 4 by 5 1/4. Then you have, this piece is just decorative on part of the Z fold on the inside. Actually, this will be the front of the card. Sorry about that. It's going to be 2 3/4 by 4. And this is going to be our little pocket for our gift card, which this time it will go into the card like this, or fold up some cash and stick it down in there like that as well. All right, so I tried to make sure, since my paper is kind of directional, I've tried to cut everything so that the slats would go like this. Now this kind of reminds me of shiplap, so I wanted to create it on my own, kind of, with that other pattern paper I used, which you could do, which would be really neat, but I was like, this is super simple because it's already kind of made. And it's a little bit more distressed maybe than you would, see on Chip and Joanne's Magnolia houses. But okay, so let's start with some more distressing. Again, I want everything to be, actually I don't think I'll use early espresso this time. I think I'll use some crumb cake. So to do that, let me see if I can get a little color out of here, or I'm gonna have to change this out. So I could just kind of rub some of the color out. Hopefully it doesn't get it too wet. Look, then it almost looks like a burgundy. I think I'll dry it off on a little scratch of paper. I just happen to have some over here. So yeah, I'm glad I did that. And that almost looks like crumb cake now. Let me make sure it's not too wet. Okay, that'll be good enough. So let's do all 4 of these pieces. And this will just be a little bit softer looking. And go around the edges of all these. Does anybody have any questions about the Z folds? Oh, I know you like shiplap, Debbie. I love the way your house is done. reminds me of a little farmhouse. All right. So you could totally leave this step out if you wanted to, but it just adds, for me, it adds a little bit more rustic feel, and that's kind of been my theme all week long. So all my projects should somewhat coordinate because I'm using all the same embellishments, the same bundle along with the same designer series paper, so it's a great way to show you lots of different ways to use your products. All right, let's start with this. We're going to glue that onto here. That's a pretty one. I debated about doing that, but I felt it was a little dark. And I wanted to bring in a little bit different green. I bought this shaded spruce cardstock for the Nests of Winter collection for our creativity now that we did back in June, I think it was. All right, we got to do some scoring. Bring out that paper trimmer again. And this is my score blade. So we're going to score at, this one's easy, we're going to score at, because this is 9 inches long, we're going to score at 3 and 6. I really kind of like this one, the size of this better, because it was 4 1/4. So you could do this same design for the other one. It'll be just a little bit different. Okay, so now we're gonna want, this is our base, so we're gonna fold this way. And then fold back. The other piece, the other Z fold, I think was 4 1/2. So it took, the only reason I like this one better, since it was 4 1/4, you can take an 8 1/2 by 11 and cut it right down the center and still have a card base for, you know, like a long one that would be 11 inches. So that's why I like these measurements better. All right, so this is how I want it to go. So we're going to put adhesive on the back here. And, you know, before I actually put that down, I may have to add some more. I just had an idea. I'm gonna wrap some ribbon around. I'm just gonna cut off enough. I didn't turn on my focus, my work focus. I'm gonna do that, because that was HEB. Sometimes I hear from Jeff, but okay, so I'm going to put some of this behind here, and that way, I hope I'm not messing anything up, but then that way we can tie it shut. So just kind of centered, kind of not. That's on there. Now let's lay it down. So let's make this a little bit different than, okay, so that's just like that. Did I put it the wrong way? I did, but there, it goes this way. Ta-da, still works. Okay, so we want it to open like a, kind of like a book, but accordion. All right, that worked. So let's grab these pieces. This will be our pocket, so we'll do that in 1 second. This will be our piece on the front. I'm going to save, actually this is going to be the piece inside, okay? All right. So let's put it down. Yeah, because we want to have it, we need a place to write our message. And then we'll decorate up this piece. So I think I'm going to go ahead and lay it down. So everything we build on this will be individual pieces. And we're going to play with it a little bit because I did not create a sample ahead of time. I got one of the other one that I just followed, so we're winging this one. Okay, so then it'll open up like that. Now let's move that to the side, and we need to cut a notch and do some scoring. So first, so this piece was, I'm gonna look and see. I want it to go that way, okay? So this piece is 3 1/4 by 3 inches. So let's score at 1/4 inches right here. I'm gonna turn it and score at 1/4 inches again, 1/4 inch. And then I don't necessarily need to do the bottom. I think I'll just put glue down there at the bottom. But doing the scoring, I think I still need, nope, I don't think I need that. We need to cut out a little notch again. All right, so these pieces, they're gonna be scored like this. And that's just gonna give you a little bit more width right in here. So that you could put like a stash of cash or something like that in it. All right, let's cut our little notch out again. Of course, you could use a punch if you wanted to, but I don't have any circle punches. So I'm just going to use this again, that same one. You can lay this out if you want. You don't have to worry about the score because it's small enough. But let's just cut a little piece. I'm just making sure I got it centered. I like doing these as well because they have a little stitch line on them that just adds a little something extra to your project. And I may end up using a sentiment that I'm going to use that stylish shapes again. Maybe a banner or a square. We'll look here in just one second to see what we're going to do. May have to do a very Merry Christmas if it'll fit on the front. Let me put these away. All right, so I've got that piece ready. Again, I'm going to save this for maybe another project. Now let's look at let me move this to the side just for a minute. So we got to figure out how about we just decorate this up first. Let's do this so that I can get that part out of the way. So that's how it's supposed to look. And then we'll figure out our front. All right, so put some glue, liquid glue on the little scored flaps there. And then right down there. And then adhere that kind of lined up the same, should be about 2 3/4 inches wide, just like these two pieces right here. Okay. And then you have a little pocket right there. You could even kind of squish it in just a little bit so that you can see the little pocket there. You've got plenty of room. And then let's see how we want to decorate this up. I'm gonna look and see 2 different ones. Use some different shapes than I've been using, maybe. A Very Merry Christmas would work perfect in that. I'm just trying to see how that would work on my front. I could put it like right over a Christmas tree, I think. Or you could just stamp it right on the Christmas tree, like I saw on Pinterest. I don't know if I still have it pulled up. I don't think I do. So I won't even worry about that. All right, so let's wrap this up. I think I'm just gonna do a Christmas tree on the front here, because then we're going to have to tie that. It's gonna go, and I don't think I can put anything over it because it's got to be able to open, so it's got to go over top. So we'll see. Let's cut a tree. Let's do something a little bit different than we have been doing. I think I still want my base. So I did this one so far. I've done that. Haven't done the snowflakes. Should I do green with, I think I will do that. Might cut some of this. So if I do, let me think for a minute. Snowflakes. The only thing, I kind of wanted to use these little pieces that I have. Move all that over there. So maybe I won't do the snow, because I have it right there, but it's in a off-white. That would be pretty. Okay, I'm thinking and debating, because I kind of wanted to do these for a change. Like possibly going up and down this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Just because I cut these, I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. Okay. And maybe do the big one on the bottom for the, what do you call it? Trunk. I don't know if I'll use this, but I want to see if I can. I think it's just supposed to hang down. So maybe we'll do it on the inside or something. I may have to cut it in a different color or cut the bow. Oh, there's actually a stamp. I think there's a stamp. So we'll look at that. Okay, so I'm going to put those away. I think I'm done with them. And we just have to cut a few of those. So I never did do any of the fun you could do like cranberries too, but I guess I won't do that. Might pull this out and cut that. And I think we might need a star on this one. Okay. Let's get busy and finish this up. So let's bring in our and this way, using the reds and greens with the gingham, my cards will coordinate. And it'll just be pretty. All right, so let's think about, do I want my tree to be green and this could be white with that on top of there? I don't have Let me grab my green cardstock. There we go. Yeah, I know what I'll do. I will find my scraps. I had the hardest time trying to get these pieces cut the right way to have the, I think that'll work. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to cut the tree out of green. I need a smaller piece, so let me cut like a 3.5. So that's how wide the mini is, this one. So I'm going to do it that way or this way, either or. I'm getting hungry. Who eats breakfast on a regular basis? Who doesn't? Yes, this is one I bought early on, this bundle, and just really couldn't wait to use it. All right, so I think I'll do it so you won't be able to tell probably really, but I'm gonna do it this way. But I'm gonna make sure the shiplap, that's what I'm calling this one, runs the same way as everything on the card. And there we go. Sometimes if it's too straight down here, it would have probably gone through easier going that way. All right, and then you just have to use some tweezers or something sharp to poke that out. This is so delicate. Look at it. Now, you could use the back side of it too. It's like early espresso. So we'll play and see. I kind of like that, I think. All right, anything else? Let's look at this real quick just to see. It's this right here. So how about we cut this out of a little bit of, well, you know what? Let's just cut it out of this. Might as well. It's gonna be, yeah, just the background. I'm just thinking I'll put it on the inside probably. I can stamp maybe a red bow. And that'll bring in a little bit more red. Yeah. I like that. So this one I'll save for another project. Might could like white emboss the bow on another project. All right, I'm gonna make sure I get that put back in my case, along with all of these others. I'll clean that up here in a minute. All right, I think that's done, and we can bring our, I do have to figure out I have to figure out what I'm gonna do about a sentiment. I mean, it doesn't have to have a sentiment. Okay, so let's visualize this. The sentiment could be right on here. I think that's what I'm going to do. What was the other? There's also a for you. I could do a little for you on here somewhere. That'd be great for the gift card. So maybe that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I like this. Just like keeping with that is pretty though. But I think I'm going to do it this way. All right. Again, the adhesive sheets would really be great right about now. But I'm just going to put some right on the ends. Maybe the teeny bit on those little ends of the branches. Just barely. Maybe right there. Tweezers will help me not get so messy. All right, so I'm gonna adhere it about right there, I think. Still squishes out glue, but luckily it dries pretty clear so you don't see it. Finger stuck. Just holding it down. So yes, if you buy this bundle, grab some adhesive sheets while you're at it. And this one we are going to pop up. And I don't know that big tree trunk will be great here, but all right, I'm just going to center this on here. I think I'm just going to have to tie the bow like right in the middle. I don't know that I'm going to do it yet, but I think that'll work. But let's do our, is that where I want them? Maybe right in between. I didn't cut a heart or a star. So let's do it. I'm going to start. Everything's sticky. Just a second. Here we go. Where it starts to get kind of crazy. All right, I'm going to go in between these little pieces. Are kind of hard to maneuver. Okay, I'm going to go in between so you still see the branches. Saw the cutest card, my upline Rhonda. I think she was doing a workshop with this bundle. I haven't seen all the cards yet though. And she did the cutest card using this right here, this tree and the bows. So yeah, I think 5 will still work. I think I'll just put a bow on the top and not a star. Let me look and see. That'd be cute up there. Yeah. So could do a star if you wanted, but I'm just gonna do a bow. Cute as that. And then I don't know if this one's gonna look funny. I'm gonna stick it on. Kind of like, but let's just do it. All right, and let that dry for a minute. So let's look at this. Oh yeah, that's gonna be perfect. Let's grab that cute little bow, cute little hanging bow. You wanna just, when it's, this one's pretty stiff and straight, but still just kind of drop it on your surface. I'm just gonna do this one. We'll get some cherry cobbler ink. Have just a little bit more to do to finish off. Those I'm sticking on my magnetic sheet. And then we're gonna see if we can line this up. Ooh, that may be rough. Let's see here. This may be one you want to stamp first and then cut. I did an okay job. I'll probably go back and fix it in a little bit. I was off there just a teeny bit, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. I'll just do better on the next one I make. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Sometimes I love a big breakfast. Hey, Sheila. We do that on Saturdays. We'll make a breakfast, not like super early, but we will. I'm just going to stick it right there. We will, Saturdays are my favorite, just to do bacon and maybe an omelet, or occasionally we'll do oatmeal. So that just adds a little something inside there. Then we can do that sentiment. I think I'm just going to do it on there. I think I'm going to do it in red too, so that I'll have red all the way across. And we're almost done. And I love free breakfasts at the hotels when we travel. So we go, my new favorite hotel chain is Holiday Inn, or Hampton by Holiday Inn. We stayed at our first one in Vero Beach, Florida back in July, and then we stayed at another one when we went up for the Lainey Wilson concert in Lubbock. And best service, clean, super easy check-in, check-out. We never even had to go to the counter. Just did it all on the app, which was awesome. Okay, so I'm just gonna do, hopefully it'll stamp fine. Stamp it there, you could stamp it over here, you could put a piece of white if you wanted to, with those stylish shapes. I just did it right there to make it easy. And last but not least, let's add, I hope these aren't too big, but that's what I was thinking, is doing the pearls right here in the center. Oh no, I think that's gonna be just perfect. Just on each one of the bows. And that will just about finish it off. I'll tie it up, and hopefully that will look cute. I probably wouldn't make multiple of these. Not exactly the same, because you'd have to have a lot of these little berries. Look at those, aren't those cute? So pretty sweet and simple. And I hope I like it okay with the bow right in the center. I think I will. All right, so let's do a traditional bow, I think, right here. And scissors, clean it up. And a little angle on this one. And voila! And I'm not gonna open it up again. All right, there we have that one and this one. So I did make a second one, so let's trade out that one, because I don't have the big smear across there. There we go. All right, thanks for joining me, ladies. So what are you gonna eat, Debbie? I don't know if I'll, because it's about lunchtime. I'll have to see. I don't even know if we have any leftovers. So I may be cooking eggs anyways. But I like to do in the morning if I'm kind of hungry early, I'll do cottage cheese with strawberries. I like that a lot because I'm getting in my protein and my fiber. And then if it's later, then I'll just eat lunch. Can you remember? I didn't have to cook last night. That's what we did. So I don't even know if there's any lunch in there. We'll see what Jeff left me, if anything. So I have to get creative this morning or today for lunch. All right, so thanks for joining me. I'm going to put these like this. That'll be pretty. Hope you try these cards. You can rewatch the video for the dimensions because I listed them all off. But if you want the PDF of all the projects that I created this week, so it includes these 2 cards, you'll get the dimensions and photographs and some easy instructions to assemble them, and then you can kind of decorate them however you want. But spend $40 this week through Monday, October 28th. The details are in the description under weekly special. So $40 or more using my host code or the link provided, and you'll get instructions for these 2 cards plus my 8.5 by 11 page. So dimensions on that, along with dimensions and instructions on my 12 by 12. So thanks for joining me. Thank you for your support. Thank you for, hey Lisa, I just saw you commenting and visiting with me. I appreciate it. Hope I didn't miss anyone. I see Susie. Do you need the stamp set or can you just use dies by themselves? On a lot of these you can just use the dies, but I did use stamps on this one, so definitely could just use dies with this particular collection of products. That's what I did here. I just used ink to color and embellish. Those are all just dies there, but I did stamp on this one right here. So, yep, your choice. So, y'all have a great weekend since we're at Friday. Have a Feel Good Friday. Make it something happy and special. Send a card to somebody. That's kind of the purpose behind the Feel Good Friday. Have fun this weekend. Be safe. God bless. And I hope to see y'all on Monday for my Make It Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time, where I'll create another 12 by 12 scrapbook layout using, I don't know, you'll have to come Monday and find out, because I don't even know yet. All right, thank y'all. Bye.